Shalom, Pastor Harkin, back at you with this truth, giving all praises to Yahweh Shem Shai Bashem Kodash. And I'm going to entitle this video, What is a Prophet? Anyway, you see before you, the video that I put up was a re-upload that I re-uploaded from GMS Vault. Some beloved brother, I don't know who he is, put this up. And what I like to do, I like to go into breakdowns, or if there's not a breakdown that somebody had put up, like if I go into a complete breakdown, let's say Revelation 9, for example, I'll go to YouTube and I'll put in Revelation chapter 9 and see, you'll see a lot of so-called churches that might do, breakdowns on it, or what they call in the seminary circles, hermeneutics, which is the interpretation of scriptures, mainly these prophetic scriptures. So I'll put in Revelation 9, and I see certain church Edomites might call themselves, they're breaking it down wrong. And I'll see if any Israelite groups out there did a breakdown. And I'm also looking for any GMS, members of GMS did a breakdown on it. And if I don't see it, I'll go ahead and do it. Now, years ago, we did we broke down Second Ezra chapter 11, and we did Second Ezra chapter 12, and it got lost because we put it up private and we sent it out to the heads of the different GMS camps, so they got the understanding. If you got that video, you got the understanding. Then we lost it, which is no big deal. It's no big deal, because if we have to ever do it again, you got to go into the work, which we already know. We already know the breakdowns. It's our eyes are fully open to it, right? So I came across this video in the GMS vault, which I came across this video. This was done a while back. I don't know, maybe a year ago. I don't know, but I remember it being up. So I said, well, you know what I'm gonna do? Let me go ahead and make a copy of it, and I'll put it in. I'll put it on my page. And what I did was I put the same exact title, but I put re-upload. So when you go to the video, you won't hear my voice. You'll hear it's a classroom setting. And then Elder Yashawamba had put up the same video. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but he put in GMS classroom. So it's there in 3 places, all right? If you want to get certain breakdowns, if you're not sure about a breakdown, a prophetic breakdown, or as they call it, hermeneutics, one site to go to is GMS Vault, and another site to go to is, because you guys asked a lot of questions, but we did most of the questions that you asked. I'll say all of them is pretty much, or we already did it. If I didn't do it, somebody else did it. But anyway, another go-to. Here it is, GMS Vault. Let me click on that. As you can see, let me hit about. Okay, all right. So this was just put up, not even a year ago. So let me go to videos, and you see the various videos. Ezekiel chapter 37, and I believe this was put up by Apostle Ryan Lob, and I put up I did a video on Ezekiel 37, very important major prophecy, because Ezekiel chapter 37 is taking place right now as we speak, the Great Awakening. This one, GMS Melchizedek, is Yahweh Shah. Let me see who did this. I don't know. I believe this was me. Let's see. You can see I'm pregnant with the act of sex and Mary's son, and to call his name Emmanuel. Okay, so I did this recently, maybe a month ago. Let me see here. Let me come back. Oh, right now, currently. And this is where the prophet. All right, let me let you listen. This is it's coming down to the wire.
Like, like it was made specifically for your body. And that's exactly what the Lord did with Esau. They are the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction. Back in Psalm 49:8. For the redemption of their soul is precious and will cease it forever. Right, so they won't be able to redeem themselves. It says that he should still live forever and not see corruption. Yeah, because it's given to man that every man should die, beast and everything. The only ones that will not die are the elect, and then when the rest of Israel comes back, they're gonna inherit those immortal bodies. Just for he seeth that wise men die, likewise the fool.
So you hear it sounds like a great video. I see the views are up, way up there, over 200. That's good. Anyway, so the topic is on a prophet. What is a prophet? Let me come back over here. Okay, let me come back one more time. Okay, the correct breakdown of Revelation chapter 17. I did that because I remember that it had to be at most about a month ago. Oh, people go off on Revelation 20. And if you go to Revelation 20, let's go to that. There's a point I want to hit. So let me bring that up. Let's slide this over. Okay, Revelation 20. I want to show you something. Revelation 20. Okay, when you read from the first verse, you know it's talking about Esau being brought down. Right here, the fourth verse speaks about the MOTB. Also in the fourth verse, it speaks about us, the ones that didn't accept the MOTB. We're going to be sitting on thrones, 1,000-year reign. Sixth verse, Revelation 20, blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. And that's this deliverance. On such the second death have no power. The first death, if that's in Peter spoke about that, the flood, and this is the second death, the rain of fire. But they shall be priests of the Most High and of the Messiah, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. That's a fulfillment of Exodus 19:6. So it comes down here, the seventh verse, it says, and when 1,000 years are expired, Satan, Esau, shall be loose out of his prison. So people will read that and say, so we're going to be in the kingdom for 1,000 years, and then Satan, Esau's going to come back and take us down. No. When these books were written, at some part of the chapter, it goes from the past to the present, back to the past, and back into the present or the future. So there's certain scriptures, it'll start off with the future and then go back into the past. So the 7th verse, a lot of people get caught up on that. It says, and when 1,000 years are expired, Satan, going back to the 1st verse, Satan shall be loose out of his prison. So when was that? During the time of the Renaissance. During the time of the Renaissance started around the period of a key year is what is that? 1453. The mid to late 1400s was the year of Esau coming into power. So you have a thing called the Renaissance. It says that's why they in their history have a thing called the Dark Ages, and the Dark Ages doesn't mean that oh, that's when Jake was ruling, because we're dark. No, dark meaning you couldn't, like you looking at history. There's a point in time where you dig up this and dig up that. Then there's a point of time where you don't dig up anything and you don't find anything. That's a dark time. So that dark time is when Esau was not in power. So they don't want to they ain't going to big us up. They ain't going to say, you know what, there was a time when Jake ruled and they were kicking our asses. That's why they said, when you read that, the Dark Ages, it tells you that, it speaks on that. Well, how can it be a dark time of achievement when you had the Moors? Let's not even talk about the Christians. Let's talk about the Moors. The Moors contribute a lot to that society, but the Moors were Jake. And the Israelites, the Christians were Israelites. But Esau didn't want to acknowledge that, all right? And shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the 4 quarters of the earth. The Roman Empire did not deceive the nations. The first time that Esau deceived the nations in the 4 quarters of the earth is now, is the Renaissance period. Christopher Columbus, and it came out of Spain, all right? It's a Gog and Magog. Gog and Magog is in the news right now talking about Russia to gather them together in battle. Now you have camps out there that are getting all hyped because let's hope they go to war. Then the Lord is going to know the major prophecy is missing. That's the MOTB. That's why that's why we say that we're the true prophets of the Lord. If you call yourself going out there teaching on the highways and the byways and doing videos and breakdowns, a lot of you guys, I'm gonna just tell it like it is. And Priest Sabak, or High Priest Sabak, whatever his title is, he had made a statement. Someone in the audience asked him about the MOTB, and I forget exactly what he said, but he wasn't with it. And he said something to the effect of, look, we're just going by what the elders taught us. Well, guess what? The scriptures say this: I have become wiser than my teachers. I have become wiser than all my teachers. So we went past that, and we found out that they went off on certain things. The top 7 went off on certain things. I remember Ariah. I would ask Ariah, because I was listening to Abba's tapes. That's when you had the little square tapes, cassettes. And he broke down something different from the way that High Priest Ariel the 7 breakdown. So I said, well, wait a minute. What does this mean? Because Abba said this, and Ariel said, no, he went off on that. Well, guess what? They went off. They were teaching that Cornelius is an Edomite. So they went off. So you got to grow in this thing. Did they teach about the MOTB? Yeah. What they said was that means you put it in your right hand, that means you're ready to fight for Esau. If you put it in your forehead, that means you part of his system. Well, guess what? We're all part of his system right now. So in order for you not to know this major prophecy, that's a major stumbling block. And the reason why you don't know it, because the Most High, the Most High didn't open up your eyes to that. All right. It says, and shall go and deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog. So what precept, if you're into this, really into the scriptures, if you're a Christian scholar or Bible historian or someone that specializes in prophecy, even among Esau, when you read the 8th verse, what precept should come to mind? Ezekiel chapter 38. To gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. That's that major battle. And that's not going to happen. This situation with the with Russia, the former Soviet Union, and by the way, Ukraine was part of the Soviet Union. So it got broken up. So they're building it back up again. So they have a right to take it. And they're going to take parts of it. Look, you got the U.S. involved in that, but guess what? When the Rothschilds, the Europeans that they gathered and said they were Jews, they said, "Oh, that's our land. We were those people." We know that they're not their people. That's a false prophecy in their behalf. They're saying we're fulfilling the prophecy of going back to the right of return. Yeah, but guess what? You were supposed to go further south down to Edom. If you're going to return anywhere, take your ass back to Edom. Take your ass back to Petra, to Mount Seir. To gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea, as they went up on the breadth of the earth and compassed the camp of the saints, that's the land of Israel and the people of Israel, because they're looking to destroy us, and the beloved city, which are us. And fire came down from heaven out of the Most High, out of heaven, and devoured them. That's all I'm gonna read on that. But anyway, I was gonna go someplace else in the precepts. But you know, a prophet breaks down all the prophetic scriptures, and we're known for that. We're clearly known for that. I want to do this. Bear with me for a minute. Okay, let me see if I remember the writing. Army of Israel. Let's see if this comes up. Okay, Army of Israel headquarters. So I stumble on this video. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, here it is right here. There is no justifiable sex on the Sabbath. And this was put up recently, February 12th to be exact. This is the time when we found out that most of these camps teach it's all right to have sex on the Sabbath. And so we did, you know us, we did our videos on it, which prophets are supposed to do. But I noticed that, and I'll let you listen to a little bit, it said there is no justifiable sex on the Sabbath. ISUPK, IUIC, Sakari, Worldwide Assembly. I looked for Worldwide Assembly. I couldn't find it. I put it in there, but I couldn't. I don't know who they are. It says source up. Okay. And let me let you listen to a little bit of it. And see the scriptures. When you go to Ezekiel, the 3rd chapter, one of my favorite chapters, it says, "Eat this roll and go out and teach the sons of Israel, the children of Israel." I always bring that up. So if any of the children of Israel are going off, you're supposed to let them know that they're going off. They're not teaching the right way. They're going off on that. So we did that. And we came to the conclusion that, damn, maybe all the camps teach the same goddamn thing. So I was surprised, you know, giving props to them, Army of Israel headquarters. I'm gonna let you listen to a little of it.
Who's coming with me?
Shalom. Shabbat shalom.
You all, man. For those who don't know, my name is Jeremiah. Please say the shop. We have very interesting topic today. Very interesting. Very interesting topic to deal with. Man, our people, man, it's a lot of confusion, man, in the nation of Israel. And a lot of the confusion is caused by some of you new Israelites coming in with this new spirit of do as thou wilt. And
Myself, you know, we get on camps or people that go off, you know, we go into the scriptures and all that. But if you're saying the right thing, we're going to praise you. So guess what? Army of Israel headquarters is being praised right now, because I'm guarantee you they saw the back and forth with whether you can have sex on the Sabbath or whether you can't have sex on the Sabbath, you know? And I knew this was a while back that the ISUPK said, yeah, you can have sex on the Sabbath, and we did videos on that. But I said, no, IUIC doesn't teach that. And then somebody sent me a video and they taught it the same, broke it down the same way that the ISUPK broke it down. You know, because the desire, it says eating food is a pleasure, you know? So when I saw the video, I said, well, IUIC is clearly going off. That's why I said the Most High is going to break all these camps up. And if there's any sincere among them, which I believe there are, and my personal belief, could be right, could be wrong, then they're going to come out of that. Sakari, which is led by Al-Azhar, came out of, started with GMS, and he made a statement to Sarnetta. He asked, why did you go with GMS? He said, because they're likened unto the Church of Berea. I mean, they go into the scriptures and, you know, study things. They dig, they go into the Hebrew maps, history, whatever. Now, I was surprised to hear that Sakari says, yeah, you can have sex. And then Al-Azhar, he said, he made an prophet-like statement. He said, there's no law on having sex. So you can pretty much do anything you want if there's no law on it. So they're going off and they're going to get broken up. Now, Worldwide Assembly, I don't know about them, but let you listen. Like I said, I'm gonna say it again, giving props to Army Israel headquarters for standing up for this particular topic, justifiable Kwabah on Sabbath. And Kwaba means female, Sam means sex. The Kwaba means female. All right, so let me let you listen to a little bit more.
For those who don't know, I got my brother, Maharakai. Introduce yourself to the people, man.
Shalom, shalom, all praise go to Yahweh, Shalom, Mashak, Yahweh.
Okay. Marikar, I hope I'm saying his name right. Just heard it. Anyway, he goes way back. He goes back to the 90s, early 90s, back in the One West. He was a kid when he came into this thing. So when we tell you the stories back at One West, he can attest to it because he was there as a young man. And he's originally from New York. He moved out to the West, Midwest, and set up the Army of Israel. He was down with priest Zabak. They used to go back and forth to DC. So look, we remember these guys, right? Maharaka. Did I say it wrong? Maharaka.
The truth says 93. All praise to the Most High.
That's a long time. 93. That's when the school was kind of starting to grow. Started to grow. Then camps was out there.
I'm saying so. Been through my ups and downs, struggles.
Well, let me say this too. A lot of these guys came in from the different, you had the Brooklyn camp, you had the different camp, Queens camp, many different camps, Bronx camp, Manhattan camp, Harlem camp. You had all those different camps. And then you had a couple of camps out in the States because certain brothers went out into the States and, open up things. The Spirit got on me to open up Boston. But I was the one that came up with the concept of multiple camps, because when I came in, if you had 100 guys, they would all be in one camp fighting over time to speak. So I told, I came to Ariel, we was on 34th Street. We was on 34th Street on Saturdays, and we was on 44th Street on Sundays. Times Square, 44th Street, the 1515 building. Maharaka could tell you. All right, he goes that far back. And I said, look, Ariel, we have a lot of people, fighting over time. I said, look, why don't we do this? Split the camp, have a 34th Street camp on Saturday, and then at the same time, have a 44th Street camp on Saturday as well. And then on Sundays, you got people that really didn't come out, but we also came out. We used to come out on Saturdays and Sundays. So we had the 34th Street camp on Saturday, 44th Street camp on Saturdays, and then the 44th Street camp or Times Square camp on Sundays. And then the Spirit got on me and the elder, the priest Lahab, and it was me and him. We went out to Brooklyn. What is that? Flat Church and Flat? Was it? No. It was, I believe it was Flatbush, and I believe that was Hoyt. I know it was Flatbush, and it was just me and him, and then it kind of got built up. Ariella came in, and others came in, and it kind of got built up. So that's where the multiple camps came from, we don't need a whole lot of guys just standing around. You got to do work, like our camp that I had, that I deal with, we have the brothers split up, the young brothers split up and do their camps. But basically, we're basically a 4-man camp. So when you come in and listen, there's gonna have to be a time where you're gonna have to do work. All right. We're not placed here on this earth to entertain you. This is not a form of entertainment. Anyway, let's listen to a little bit more. Please forgive me for rambling.
I'm still here in the fight, man, in the race. You know what I'm saying? So that's giving all praise and glory and mercy to the Most High. So we here.
Yeah, man. So, remember how I was going to do the video probably about last summer, right? How did you come today on the importance of having a teacher?
Yeah, the importance of having a teacher, because you have false teachers among you. You have false teachers among you. Let me give you a precept. What is a prophet? The importance of having a prophet. A prophet is divinely inspired by the Most High. So if you're teaching something contrary to the scriptures, guess what? You're not a prophet. That makes you a false prophet. Okay, where am I gonna go? Let's see what comes up. Okay, that's not it. Let me try this. Okay, that's it. 2 Timothy 4, verse 3. For the time will come when they will not endorse sound doctrine, healthy doctrine, but after their own lusts shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears. So now let's go to that. False teachers. Yeah, forgive me. Anyway, I wanted to look up itching ears. To scratch, tickle, make to itch, desirous of hearing something pleasant. Isaiah. Foundationary scriptures. Isaiah 30, verse 9. Search started 8, but I'll go to 9. That this is a rebellious people, lying children, children that will not hear the law. The law, sex on the Sabbath is against the law, and you'll be put to death for that of the Lord, Yahweh. Will say to the seers, or to the prophets, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits, lie to us. Get you out of the way, turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. So they don't want the Most High. Now I remember when the last Passover last year, the Sakari went to a club of women scantily clad, and we got on him, and he bucked up against it. They went in there with the fringes on there and everything. And we bucked up against him. It's so hard that even other Israelite camps bucked up against it. Even Sarnetta bucked up against it. And guess what he did? He apologized. So wait a minute. Right there, when you perform that act with the fringes on, the Most High could have put all of y'all to death because you defiled the Sabbath in a major way. So now let's come back. Let me let you listen to a little bit more.
Individual, like, you understand? And those that are leading the charge of the campaign is those that either was in the camp, something, traumatic happened in the camp, and they're gonna throw the baby out with the bathwater and kill the campaign, right? And no denying that there are certain camps that are mistreating people. I wouldn't deny that. But what it has led us to is There's so much information out there. So many different people to listen to. Anybody with a computer can start a line and create computer. All we want to do
And sex on the Sabbath is confusion. And the heads of the ISUPK, the heads of the IUIC, the head of the Sakari, and whoever else is teaching this should be ashamed of themselves. They have no business being teachers. And that's, like I said, I'm saying it again. That's why the Most High is going to break these camps up and get rid of them. What you should have learned the lesson from the death, the downfall and the death of Tazadakia. I mean, he was a young man. He wasn't even 50 years old. I believe he was in his early 40s. I can get the information on that. All I got to do is go to Google or whatever. He was a young man. And he basically turned the truth into a Roman Catholic church, a Black Roman Catholic church. And nobody stood up to confronted him about that. If I was there, I would have confronted him about it. The High Priest Arion, High Priest Shaw, y'all should have stood up and took a leadership role, because y'all basically let him be the leader. A child left to himself shall be what? Willful. He was doing his own thing, man. Committing adultery, doing all kind of madness, man. And then the Most High said, okay, it's your time to go. The man that built the house, the rich man that built the barn, and he said, I'm gonna tear this barn down and build a bigger barn. And the Lord said, thou fool, did you not know that your soul is required? I'm paraphrasing, I'm not gonna go to it. I believe that's in the book of Luke. But when Tazadakia, priest Tazadakia, whatever he was, the so-called God sent comforter, which clearly is not scriptural. Clearly is not scriptural. So when that came up, that I'm the God sent comforter, High Priest Ariah, High Priest Shaw, and others of high ranking that understood the scriptures should have got on him, and they didn't get on him. They just flowed with it. And see, they get mad at us for getting on people about things, and the scripture said, in season, out of season, rebuke and rebuke.
is do our best to get back to the pureness of our ancestral expression, right? And if you're doing something contrary to the law, statutes, and commandments, why do you feel that it's important that you go on social media and get other people to do the same mistakes that you're making? I don't understand that, Mahal, man.
Man, I mean, you know,
Scripture come to my mind, Romans 16, 17, Romans 16, 17, and 18. For with fair words and fine speech itself, they deceive the heart of the simple. So guess what? You got a lot of these camps. You have the leadership, maybe it's one guy, maybe it's two or three guys, and then you got the masses that listen, and they just whatever the head guy says, you don't question it. That's none of y'all are prophets, man. Because I wouldn't dealt with that. I wouldn't accepted that, man. Tazadakia said, I'm the God sent comforter. You got to call me the comforter now. Maybe I would have got up. I said, wait a minute, what you mean you the comforter, man? And if there was some back and forth arguing, I would be out, I'll leave, and I'll never come back. I'll never come back. But so it was good that the Most High took his black ass out. And then they started with a campaign of, oh, he's going to raise from the dead. Well, he's been dead for over, going on 2 years. Oh, the same thing with Rap the News. He was bucking up mainly against GMS. And what did the Most High do to him? The Most High required his soul. He took him. He was sick, and then he got worse, and then he died. And then you had those followers, those bug outs, starting to come against us. Most High gonna kill more Israelites than he's gonna save. That's a topic right there. See, Jacob's doing all this bullshit because they lack fear. They don't have fear for the Most High. Why you think we go out there? We still out there. There's a lot of camps that don't even go out, and they might go out, but the leadership doesn't go out. They're doing what they're gonna do. Cookouts on a so-called Sabbath, which is a Saturday, which is not the real Sabbath. Let's listen to a little bit more.
Everybody want to, exhort themselves, or you come into this awakening and, you get the insight, the Holy Spirit touches you, you know what I'm saying? It's something is miraculous, man. So it's like a euphoria, man. You know what I'm saying? And, you get to the point where, you on your own, because we got all supposed to come up from the men. You know what I'm saying? We all got to be babies.
And that's the problem. That's the problem. They're saying good stuff right here. They're saying good stuff right here. That's why I'm letting it play. It says, obey them in Hebrews, obey them to have the rule over you. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and get that so I don't botch it up. I want to read it verb for verb, verbatim. Okay, Hebrews. Hebrews 13. Because if we teach, oh yeah, you can have sex on the Sabbath. We're held accountable to that, man, by the Most High. So these guys don't even give it. They don't fear the Most High. Bishop Nate, as he calls himself, he was sick. I don't know if it was after or before the meeting, but he said, we're not going to call on Yahweh Shai, we're going to call on Jesus the Christ, Most High and Christ blessed. That was during the time, maybe before or after, I don't know. He had like symptoms of MS. We didn't know what it was. And there was a point where they didn't show his face. And then all of a sudden he got better. And I think it came back and got better again. But then he got sick again. He claimed that he got poisoned. And there was another point where they showed him shriveled up like he was going to drop dead. And then just recently he started showing his face again. But guess what? They're still saying Most High and Christ blessed, which that's not the Lord's name. You're praising the Edomite, Caesar Borgia. You might as well call on Caesar Borgia. Call him by his real name. If you're going to call on Jesus, call him by his real name, Caesar Borgia. Okay, let me come down. Okay, I'm gonna go right to the point. I was gonna read a couple of verses above that, but Hebrews 13, verse 17, obey them that have the rule over you and submit yourselves, for they watch for your souls. That's why when you ask me a certain question, I'm gonna give you a straight answer pursuant to the scriptures, and you might not like the answer, but you ask me a question and I'm gonna give you a straight answer. As they that must give account, because if we tell you, yeah, go ahead and have sex on the Sabbath, guess what? The Most High is going to destroy us and destroy you for listening to me. That they may do it with joy and not with grief, for that is unprofitable unto you. I'm not going to read anymore. Let's come back. Hey, where the hell is it? Bear with me for a minute. Can't believe this. Okay, here we are. Here we go.
saying, and get on some meat or something. Now we think we at another level. And then, you know, if you get growth, you know, pride to come in, different things like that. And
Yep, pride. Least being lifted up with pride, he come under the. It speaks about a novice. And so chief high priest Alazar is still a novice. He's still new in this. Because had he not been a novice, he wouldn't have led his men blindly into a club with women, into a club like strip like app. And then they had Barack of the HODC say, oh, that wasn't a strip club. Well, guess what? There was women that had their asses out, man. It was a strip club environment. What makes a strip? Let's say you have a strip club and the pole's down and they got to do a show tonight. They'll tell you, was the show going to go on? We just don't have the pole. We're fixing the pole. It's still a strip club. You know, you ain't come to see the pole. You come to see the women strip or walk around, you know, with half their damn clothes off.
you start seeing certain things in the scriptures that you didn't see before, that you wasn't taught before. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people compromise the word, you know, usually compromise for, you know, thoughts, right? Desires, lust, whatever term you use. All for the woman, okay, money. These are the things, especially when it comes to us. In my chapter, the money is the root of all. You start seeing evil, it's money so clear in there. Or the pocket. You know, kingdoms have been destroyed and built.
That's the word lasciviousness. I spoke about that the other day. Now, prior to them having an after party at the going to this club and having a Passover there, hell, you should have had it outside some goddamn where, man. What if they said, "Oh, we got a funeral parlor. You can have the Passover there. You gonna have the Passover in the funeral parlor?" Hell no, you ain't gonna have a Passover in the funeral parlor. And before that, Alazar led his men to speak in front of strip clubs. Oh, because we got to get them sisters. But goes back to lasciviousness. What's going on behind the scenes? Okay. Anyway, let me do this. You can't make yourself a prophet. Trying to find this tab. If I got to open up a new one, I'll do that. Okay, let me try this. I just want to go to the word prophet. Let's see what comes up. Okay, this is Bible. But I don't like this. Let me do it this way. This way. Prophet Genesis 20, verse 7. Now, therefore, restore the man, his wife, this is Abraham, for he is a prophet, and he shall pray for thee, and thou shalt live. And if thou restore her not, know thou that thou shalt surely die, thou and all that are dying. So the Most High does a lot for the sake of the prophets. He's going to take out this nation for his own sake and for the sake of the prophets and for the sake of Israel. So it says here, prophet. And what makes you a prophet is the secrets that the Lord gives you. Okay, it's hard to see this. Okay, prophet is Nabaya. Spokesman, speaker, prophet, false prophet, heathen prophet. Like Balaam was a heathen prophet, but that the Lord opened up his eyes. It says, general prophet of anciently called 1 Samuel 9, verse 9. A change probably occurred in times of Elijah, because Elijah was definitely a prophet and is first reflected in Ephraim Menic, forgive me, sources. I guess that's for Ephraim Menic, as of Ephraim sources. I gotta look that up. Literally as applied to Abraham. Right, Abraham. The first scripture that comes up containing the word prophet is Genesis 20, verse 7. Moses, it says, and there rose not a prophet since in Israel like unto Moses. So Moses was a prophet. Moses was also a king, also a leader. And he was a Levite, whom the Lord knew face to face. So this is a special man, and he always had a high position. This would have to be Peter. This would have to be David. This would have to be Peter. This would have to be Mo, King Mashah. And other early prophets, Hosea 6 and 5, therefore have I hewed them by the prophets. When you look up the word hew, it means to chop down. When you're chopping down a tree, you're hewing it down. So how do you come to the people? You tell them straight as it is, like it is. I have slain them by the words of my mouth, and thy judgment are as the light that goeth forth. So you can't get up one day and say, you know what? I've been watching them Israelites. I want to be a prophet too. You can't make yourself a prophet. The Most High, basically you're a prophet before you even come on the earth. Jeremiah 1. It said, before I knew thee, I sanctified thee a prophet unto the nations, not just to Israel, but to the nations. We got to tell Esau who he is. We got to tell Moab who he is. We got to tell Ammon who he is, Ishmael, Ham. This situation in the situation with the Ukraine, Russia, and the US is not, this is not going to cause the angels to come and deliver us. Like I said, us being prophets, and we're going to be found, yet they shall know that there was a prophet among them, because they're going to find out that the MOTB is a major prophecy before this destruction comes. And for the record, we here at Great Millstone teach that. Let me read that again, Hosea 12 and 11. Is there iniquity? I never read this. Is there iniquity in Gilead? Surely they are vanity. They sacrifice bullocks in Gilead. Yeah, their altars are as heaps in the furrows of the fields. I got to read this whole. Let me do this. I want to get the whole chapter. Bring this over here like this. I don't even know why that even came up. I don't even know why that came up. Let's come back over here. Okay, it says prophet who, as actuated by a divine affiliatus, I can't hardly see that. I don't know if that's an L or what, or spirit, either rebuked the conduct of kings and nations. So the prophets cursed out the kings and the nations. Did not Nathaniel or Nathan the prophet curse out King David? And King David couldn't say, oh, lock him up. No, because he knew that was the prophet of the Lord. The Most High was speaking right through him. And that's what a prophet is. The Most High speaking through that particular vessel. So like I said, you got a lot of guys out there that claim to be prophets and are not prophets at all. Especially them that watch us on video and just decided to get fringes on and do this. And then they're cursing us out, the true prophets. Look, the true prophets of the Lord are going to go out on the highways and the byways. And they're going to do it in the summertime, wintertime, fall. They're going to do it all year long. And another sign of a true prophet is they give you the understanding of the scriptures. You got a lot of guys, they'll do everything but give you the scriptures. Like if you decide to go to a particular site and say, I'm going to learn, I like the way the garment is, and he spoke one time in the street, I'm going to start following him. Then you go to his videos and there's no breakdowns. So then you're forced to go to other sites to learn breakdowns. It says, or predicted future events. That's why we said this current crisis with the Ukraine is not going to lead to the end of the world. You're going to have to experience and be tested with the MOTB. And if you don't know what's meant by MOTB, ask somebody. Check out the videos. Because we're going to be the ones, like we've been saying, we haven't wavered, we haven't gone astray from that. We haven't said, oh, we made a mistake, we thought it was that, it ain't. No, that's what's going to happen. So a lot of these other people that are in these other camps are going to scramble, man. So you got all these precepts, right? Look at that. You got 317 times that the word prophet is mentioned in almost 300 verses. Why was Egypt taken down? Because it was time for Egypt to be taken down. The fulfillment that Abraham, the friend of the Most High, received the vision in Genesis 7, the 15th chapter, that 400 years. Now you got people out there, Israelites out there, that say, oh, the 400 years is talking about America. Right then, I know you're not a prophet. You don't understand the scriptures. You don't understand the scriptures. That's why Vocab Malone jumped on those people. Because they said from 1619 and 1919, then they said, well, there's got to be a complete year. So here we are in 2022. And the Lord haven't come back after the 400 years starting point, 1619. So they ain't saying that right now. So Vocab jumped on it. When he did the video, he put my picture in it like I'm teaching that. I ain't teaching that. And Abraham was a prophet. Very first scripture, Genesis, what is that, 20 verse 7? That this man is a prophet. And if he's mad at you and he cries to the Most High gonna kill you and everything that you own. Exodus 7 verse 1, and Yahweh said unto Moses, see, I have made thee a God, to small g, meaning the Lord, over Pharaoh, and Aaron thy brother shall be thy prophet. Numbers 11 verse 29. And Moses said unto him, enviest thou for my sake, would to the Most High that all the Lord's people, the Israelites, were prophets, and that the Lord would put his spirit upon them. What makes you a prophet is the Most High putting the spirit upon you and opening up your eyes, as in Balaam. And the man whose eyes were open said, let me come up with verse. Like I said, I didn't put no precepts together. I'm just going by the spirit. Let me see how far I should go. Let me go right here to the 28th verse. And Joshua, the son of Nun, the servant of Moses, one of his young men answered and said, my Lord Moses, forbid them. I'm sorry, I got to go up a couple more verses. I saw 25th verse, Numbers 11, verse 25. And remember, Moses was a prophet. It says, and Yahweh came down in a cloud and spake unto him and took of the spirit, and the cloud representing the ship that was upon him, and gave it unto the 70 elders. The 70 elders were prophets. The 70 elders came back many a times. The 70 elders would have to be among us right now. And they would have to be a part of the 144,000. And it came to pass that when the spirit rested upon them, what the spirit rested upon them, the spirit's got to be with you. They prophesied and did not cease. Makes me think of Ezra. When you read Ezra, what is that? Ezra, the 14th chapter, if I'm not mistaken. Most High put a spirit on Ezra and other men to keep writing. That's a whole nother topic right there. See, we haven't got a spirit on us. We read the scriptures, and then we understand the scriptures through the spirit, because the Lord is supping with us, as he did with the Apostle Paul. Another thing Zachary goes off on is that, the book of Hebrews is not of the Lord. Wait a minute. The Lord is dealing directly with the Apostle Paul. The Lord, when he was stoned 14 years prior to that date, he was telling the story in Second Corinthians 12, I believe it was. I believe it's 2 Corinthians 12. It could be 1 Corinthians 12, but I'm positive it's 2 Corinthians 12, how he was taken up into paradise, but then brought back. How many people you know die and come back because the Apostle Paul was a chosen vessel unto the Lord. So everything that the Apostle Paul said in his writings were gospel. All right. That's why I said a lot of these camps are going to be broken up. It says, and gave it unto the 70 elders, and it came to pass that when the Spirit rested upon them, they prophesied. When the Spirit came on them, they prophesied and did not cease. But there remained two of the men in the camp. The name of the one was Eldad, and the name of the other Medad, and the Spirit rested upon them, and they were of them that were written, but went not out unto the tabernacle, and they prophesied in, I ain't with them camps, and they prophesied in the camp. This right here, Numbers 11:26, it says, but when the Spirit jumped on them, they didn't go into the tabernacle, the temple, the tabernacle, which was a tent at that time, but went not out unto the tabernacle, and they prophesied in the camp, in the camp. So you tell me that a camp, and they were also prophets, were also known as a company of prophets. Saul was among the prophets, which was a company of prophets. It says, and there ran a young man and told Moses and said, these were two men, right? These were the two men, right? They said they were prophesying to the camp, right? And there ran a young man and told Moses and said, Eldad and Medad do prophesy in the camp. So they were pushing the word out to the people. And Joshua, the son of Nun, the servant of Moses, one of his young men, answered and said, my Lord Moses, forbid them. Tell them not to be teaching out to the camp, the people. So this is what Moses said. And Moses said unto him, enviest thou for my sake? Would to the Most High that all the Lord's people, the Israelites, were prophets, meaning the men of Israel, and that the Lord, Yahweh, would put his Spirit upon them. And did he do that? Well, he actually did it to women too. Acts the 2nd chapter, Joel the 2nd chapter. Your young women shall prophesy, your old men shall see visions, young men shall dream dreams. And Moses gat him into the camp, he and the elders of Israel. So now let's come back. Just going to pull out a few precepts on prophets. There was an account, I'm not going to go to it, where the Lord had healed the man that had the legion of demons on him, and he wanted to follow the Lord. He was so happy that the Lord healed him, cast out the demons, that he wanted to follow him. And the Lord told him, forbade him from following him. And I believe he said, go out and just tell the people that what I did, the miracle that I performed. And the reason why, and he was willing to follow the Lord, but the Lord didn't want him to follow him. Why? Because the order is already set up. The order is set up. When you read about the 12, the gathering of the 12, some of them were following, the Spirit was already on these men. When John was on the scene, Elijah coming back as John the Baptist, you had, it was Andrew, the brother of Peter, and I did a video on that recently, that's why it's fresh in my mind. You had James and John, and Andrew was telling Peter about this man, John the Baptist. So he knew about John the Baptist. But the 3 of the 12 that were following John the Baptist was Andrew, John, and James. And then when you read the account, I believe John gave him to the Lord before he died. So those 3 plus the 4, which is Peter, those were the first 4 that became the disciples of the Lord. And then you had the rest of them gathered together, because it was these individuals, the 12 minus Judas Iscariot, the rest of the 11 were what? They were prophets in the past. One of them could have been Jeremiah. One of them could have been Isaiah. We know one of them was Moses, Zerubbabel, David. That's why he got, upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. Ye shall sit on 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And the first throne that the first king sat on was Peter. You had Peter, you had John, you had James, on down the line. And two of the disciples were actually the Lord's biological brothers. But they wasn't of the head, because the Lord, Yahushua couldn't say, well, these are my brothers. I grew up with them. You know, we played together. Father, put them, no, the order was already set. And this is what shows you, this is what proves to you that the Father and the Son are two different entities, man. The Son had to do what the Father said do. The Father came down saying, this is my beloved Son in whom I am well pleased. So how can they be of one? See, that's why these Christians are failing. Okay, I'm going a little bit in, a little bit deep past, but I want to go out and try to make some shekels. Okay, let me go. Let me just look at a couple more precepts. So a precept, a prophet, let me go to this. Jeremiah 1. Jeremiah 1, verse 4. This was during the time of the kings. You got Josiah mentioned, son of Amnon, king of Judah. So this is when Jeremiah came on the scene, right? It says Jeremiah 1, verse 4. Then the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. So when did he know Jeremiah? In between his lives. In another life, he was somebody else, and he died. He went up into the spiritual world. The Most High said, when you come back, you're going to be a prophet again. And so when he was born, he didn't know, and the Most High had to tell him, look, you're a prophet because this is already established in the spiritual realm. So your past life, you were a prophet. And your life before that, you were a prophet. You always come back in your order. Your lot, as Daniel spoke about. Daniel knew that he came back in his lot. Job knew that he was going to come back in his lot. You ain't going to be a righteous prophet of the Lord and then come back and be a wicked man. The spirit of the prophets is subject unto the prophets. It says, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, and before thou comest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, made thee holy, and I ordained thee a prophet unto what? Not just Israel, to the nations. That's why we can say the so-called white man are the Edomites. So when we speak to the Edomites, we say you going into captivity, and we point at them. Now they might say, well, I'm Irish and I'm Scottish or whatever, I'm Sicilian or Navali Don or whatever. Then we might say, well, you might be Israelite. Now, if the spirit's on him, the spirit's going to work with him and build him up. There's men in our camp and other camps that look like there's one brother from Men of Valor down south. He looked just like an Edomite, but he was saying he had a dream. His wife had a dream, which she didn't really believe, that they were beamed up in the ships. So I come to the conclusion that guy, as though he looks like an Edomite, that's a Jake right there. So you don't know who you're dealing with, man. It said, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, and before thou comest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. Then said I, Lord power, behold, I cannot speak, for I am a child. And he was actually a child. He had to be like 11 years old. But guess what? The Most High put the spirit on him to be a prophet and to prophesy at a young age. So this is not a prophet is, there's no retirement plan for a prophet. You know, a prophet prophesies until he dies. John, that was on the Isle of Patmos, he had to be up in his 90s, if not 100. He had to be in his 90s. Did he stop prophesying? Did he retire? No. He had to receive those visions to give to the 7 churches of Asia Minor before he died. And reincarnation is right in that same scripture, in the same book. You shall prophesy again. There's no record of him ever prophesying to anybody again. So that means he's going to come back and prophesy. It says 7th verse, but the Lord said unto me, say not, I am a child, which he was literally a child, a little one, so you can understand. For thou shalt go to all that I shall send thee, and whatsoever I command thee, thou shalt speak. And that's why we're so headstrong about going out there speaking, about doing the sit downs. And any day, any time of the day, there's going to be a video. Either brother's getting ready to get up to do a video, or brother just got finished doing a video, or there's a current video going on. So there's always, you can't say, oh, when are they going to come out with new videos? There's so many videos that I'm talking about GMS. There's so many videos going out there that it's inhumanly impossible to keep up with all these videos, man, because that spirit is on us. The year of turning up, the Most High, the turn up year is talking about what? The Most High turned us up, and he's going to turn everything up. He's going to the next level. He's putting the force on full blast. So, you know, we could be at it. The only thing that we don't know as prophets is exactly when the Lord's going to come. Even Yahweh Shai don't know. But this is kept to the Father. So let's come back. Let me look at it. Go through a couple of more precepts. Okay, here we go. Numbers 12, verse 6. I'm not going to read a whole bunch of these. And then it also goes into a false prophet. Now you might say, well, you guys said that the Most High going to come back in the year 2000. Well, guess what? When you go to Luke, what is that? Luke, I believe that's Luke 17:21. Somebody can put it, I'm not going to go look for it. It says, and he said, hear now my words, if there be a prophet among you, I, the Lord, will make myself known unto him in a what? In a vision, and will speak unto him in a dream. Now, I had dreams, prophetic dreams, but basically, we go into the scriptures, the Most High puts the spirit on us that we can see what the scriptures mean, and we go out and teach the scriptures. It's that simple. This is simple, man. You don't got to make this thing complicated, man. Eat this roll and go and teach the sons of Israel, which are the children of Israel. That's it. And the word eat means to digest. That was also said to John on the Isle of Patmos. And thy mouth shall be sweet as honey, but in thy belly it shall be bitter. Because you think you're going to go out and tell Israel and they're going to listen. No, they're going to come up against you with all kind of nonsense, man. So like I said, Deuteronomy 13, it speaks about prophecies and dreamers, and then it speaks about false prophets. Deuteronomy 18, verse 15. Let me read that, and I'm gonna get ready to close. It says, Yahweh, thy power will rise up unto thee a prophet from the midst of thee. That's Yahweh Shai. So the Yahweh Shai is also a prophet. He's a savior, the prophet, the king of Israel. Of thy brethren, like unto me, unto him ye shall hearken, according to all that thou desire of the Lord thy power in Horeb in the day of the assembly, saying, let me not hear again the voice of Yahweh, my power, neither let me see this great fire anymore, that I die not. And Yahweh said unto me, they have well spoken that which they had spoken. I will raise them up a prophet, is our Lord, from among their brethren, meaning he's an Israelite, like unto thee, like unto Moses, and will put my words in his mouth. So not only did he put his words in Yahweh Shai's mouth and Moses' mouth, he put his words in our mouths, the prophets. I'm gonna say this again. You cannot make yourself a prophet. You cannot go through the motions of being a prophet, and if the Most High didn't put the spirit on you to be a prophet. And if you are a prophet now, you were a prophet in the past. The spirit of the prophets is subject unto the prophets. You see, guys, and I've seen this. Guys just disappear. They disappear for 8 years or 2 years or 6 months. And then they come back like they never left. You guys are not prophets, man. And that's why we got on priest Daniela concerning Rob Karab, because that man did a disappearing act. He disappeared for like 8 years. Then he came back with a shirt on, with the Lion of Judah on. He had the staff. He was spewing out that Hebrew. Priest Bunloy was priest, not Priest Bunloy. That's his friend, his brother that passed. Priest Daniela praised him for saying, "Oh, you came over Kwam Yashala." Well, wait a minute. You're gonna get points for saying Kwam Yashala. What about all the years that you missed going out on the highways and the byways? What if you were the last prophet left? Then this truth would have been dead. So he tried to come back in. He went out a couple of times and he's back floating. He ain't a prophet. He's not a prophet. Point blank, period. He's not a prophet. Because what do prophets do? They go out there and prophesy. They don't stand in the audience. They're not entertained by this thing. They're not part of the peanut gallery. Look up the word, the peanut, look up peanut gallery. Because a lot of y'all motherfuckers are nothing but members of the peanut gallery. Let me hold this. Let me go to the peanut gallery. We ain't dealing with no peanut gallery Israelites. And I'm gonna definitely close on this one. Let me go here. Okay, I had, yeah. Okay, listen to the rest of this. I listened to most of it. Army Israel, there is no justifiable sex on the Sabbath. IUCPK, IUIC, Sakari, Worldwide Assembly. Okay, now I want to look up the word peanut gallery. We ain't looking for no peanut gallery. We ain't trying to build up no peanut gallery. All right, peanut gallery. You're gonna crack up when you see this. Okay, let me go there. Let me go, okay. Peanut gallery. Okay, the top gallery in a theater where the cheaper seats are located. A group of people who criticize someone often by focusing on insignificant details. Oh, that's what a scoffer is, man. That's what a scoffer is. That's Ezekiel 33. So now let me go to images. You might recognize yourself. Okay, peanut gallery. There's a peanut gallery right there. We ain't dealing with no peanut gallery, brother. You listen to this word, you build, you eat the roll, and you become a teacher. You don't stand around for 20 years with your hands in your pocket, because that's a form of entertainment to you. We're not here to entertain you. Here it is again, peanut gallery. You recognize yourself in that picture? Let me come down. Let me give you a couple more. Peanut gallery. Yeah, damn. That's Jake right there. Hey, Jake, you come with the hat on backwards. He'll come out every week, you know. And a year later, he's still out there with the hat on backwards, man. See the Edomite over there getting ready to kiss our boots. You see the nigga woman, she don't know what the hell is going on. You see Poindexter over here. Well, he might be the guy that come step on the right side, man. It's a peanut gallery. We ain't dealing with no peanut gallery, all right? Scripture speak about growing in this thing. Having a little fun with this. Anyway, you know what? Let me close this up. I gotta let me look up the word secret. Secret. I did a video on the mysteries. So mystery and secret mean pretty much the same thing. Bear me for a minute. Okay. Hast thou heard the secret of the Most High, and doeth thou restrain wisdom to thyself? So if you heard the secret of the Most High, you're supposed to speak the words of the Most High. Hast thou heard the secret of the Most High, which is given to the prophets, and doeth thou restrain wisdom to thyself? So let me look up the word restrain. I already know what it means, but I want to go into the Hebrew. Restrain. Garai. To diminish, restrain, withdraw, abate, keep back, do away, take from, clip, to withdraw, to be withdrawn, to restrain, to be restrained, to withdraw. Meaning, you hear this knowledge and you don't push it forth. You don't bring it out to the people. You get guys, like I said, you got guys that turn their back on the plow. They disappear for 10 years, 8 years, 5 years, 6 months, and they come back. Like they take time off. They take the winters off or whatever the case may be. Then they come back like they never left. So you held this word back. And the Most High gives the secrets to who? The prophets. If he gave it to a king, guess what? That king is also a prophet. David was a king and a prophet. And we're required, when we get these secrets, we're required to tell these secrets. Lift up thy voice like a trumpet, Isaiah 58. Job 29 verse 4, as I was in the days of my youth, when the secret of the Most High was upon my tabernacle. You have an actual tabernacle that you build, and your body is a tabernacle. The body that we're in is a tabernacle. When you die, there's a spiritual tabernacle waiting for you in the spiritual realm. But this is Esau, Psalms 10 and 8. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages, and the secret places doeth he murder the innocent. That's Esau. The secret places meaning through these secret organizations. Psalms 18 and 11. He made darkness his secret place, his pavilion round about him with dark waters and thick clouds of the skies. Makes me think of Psalms 94. Let me jump to that. I'm almost positive. I'm sorry, Psalm 91, verse 1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. So who dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High? The prophets, because the prophets give, the Most High give the prophets the secrets. And that includes his name. We would know the name of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, because our Lord wants to be called by his name. So why would he say, you got to call me by my name, in my name, and not give you the name? Proverbs 3, verse 32. For the froward is abomination to the Yahweh, but his secret is with the righteous. What is it? Wisdom shall not enter into a malicious soul. Let me try this one. Isaiah 45, verse 3. I'm getting ready to close, like I said. And I will give thee the treasures of darkness, because where's the Most High secret? In darkness. It's shrouded in darkness. And hidden riches, that's what in Romans, the 11th chapter, is also in Revelation, the 2nd chapter. But thou art rich. What are we rich in? These secrets. We know what's going to happen. We know what's going to happen to Esau. We know what's going to happen to us. We know what's going to happen to this world. And guys that fall off, they don't see that. They don't see down yonder, so to speak, as they say down south. If they knew that the MOTB was coming, if they knew that Babylon the Great was going to be fired up, they would go out here out of fear. We really don't have. We've been in this thing so much that it's a part of us, man. It says, I will give thee the treasures of darkness and hidden riches of secret places, that thou mayest know that I, Yahweh, which called thee by thy name, Israel, am the power of Israel, right? So what is the secret places? The secret places is we know these secrets. Okay, let me read this. I got to read this one. Isaiah 45, verse 19. I have not spoken in secret in a dark place of the earth. I said not unto the seed of Jacob, seek ye me in vain. I, Yahweh, speaketh righteousness. I declare things that are right. And what does Esau do? He demonizes us. The words that we speak are harsh words about this man going to slavery, this place being destroyed. They demonize us, guys like vocab, but we're telling the truth. Isaiah 48, verse 16, come ye near unto me, hear ye this. I have not spoken in secret from the beginning, from the time that it was, there am I. And now Yahweh the Most High and his spirit have sent me. So we were sent. I couldn't say I'm like Jeremiah said, he didn't want to do this no more. I'm the same way. I've been in this for so long. I'm a part of the fix of this thing. I couldn't say I'm not going to do this no more. People see me, hey, wait a minute, you Tahar, what the hell you ain't out there? They'll force me back into teaching, man. It speaks about them getting fame and every lamb that they will put to shame in, man. There's a lot of people that know us around the whole world. This gospel shall be published preached throughout the whole world, and then the end shall come. It wasn't talking about John Calvin and Jonathan Edwards and Martin Luther. Most High wasn't dealing with them, and they didn't know the scriptures. They didn't know the secrets of the Most High. Did they know about the MOTB? Hell no. Right, Daniel, the secret is all throughout Daniel, the second chapter. And this Ezekiel 28 verse 3 shows you that Esau knows a lot of secrets. One more and I'm gonna close it. Daniel 2 verse 18. That they would desire mercies of the Most High of heaven concerning this secret, that Daniel and his fellows should not perish with the rest of the wise men of Babylon. Daniel 2 verse 22. He revealeth the deep and secret things. He knoweth what is in the darkness, and the light dwelleth with him. And what is the light? That our eyes are open. People can't see what's going to happen at the end of the year, 2 years from now, if it goes that far. They can't see this place being destroyed because the Most High opened our eyes to see it. In a dark place, it's dark to everybody else. The light has opened us. We can see it, man. We can picture it crystal clear. Like I said, the ones of you that turn your back on the plow, the ones of you that went back into the world, guess what? You saw it at one time, and then the Most High blinded you again. Let me, Daniel 2 verse 30. But as the Lord will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets, right? He don't reveal it to just any old body. He don't reveal it to the king unless the king is a prophet. But as for me, the secret is not revealed to me for any wisdom that I have more than any living, but for their sakes that shall make known the interpretation. I'm gonna look that word up to the king, and that thou mightest know the thoughts of thy heart. Let's deal with the word interpretation. Let's see what the Hebrew word is. Bear with me for a minute. The word is pasha. Interpretation of a dream. And the Most High gives prophecies through visions and through dreams. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna say shalom.